it's my pleasure just to share a few thoughts on the work of the ILA and in particular the Caribbean branch. So I'll just spend a few moments, especially for those among us who may be less familiar with the work of the ILA. It's a body that actually is a non-profit organization whose remit is to promote the study, clarification, and development of international law, as well as furthering the understanding and respect for international law. And I think that certainly follows from many of the wonderful presentations and questions that we've had today. It actually is an organization that started life back in 1873 and is presently headquartered in London. One of the key facets of the ILA is that it has consultative status as an international non-governmental organization with the UN, and currently has 20 active committees and 8 study groups which analyze various facets of private and public international law. It's also heartening to know that there are approximately 4,500 active ILA members around the world, drawn from a variety of different areas, from private practice, the world of academia, government, and the judiciary, as well as non-legal experts in commerce, industry, and finance, shipping, and arbitration. It particularly meets once every 2 years, and its biennial conferences release reports for use by the international community. There's, in fact, an upcoming conference which is going to be hosted by the Japan branch this year, the 79th Biennial Conference, which is going to be hosted online and is going to take place between the 29th of November to the 13th of December. The ILA itself has 63 branches, of which the Caribbean branch is one, and which started life in 2014. Its work is primarily conducted via committees and study groups, and just to give you a quick overview of the distinction between the two, a committee is established to assist the ILA to realize its objectives of studying, clarifying, and developing international law, both public and private, as well as to bring together members with relevant expertise to carry out research, surveys, and investigations, and to prepare reports for consideration by the membership, particularly the biennial conferences. The reports take various forms, which could comprise a restatement of the law, preparation or contribution towards a draft treaty or convention, and as well as elaborating codes and rules of existing principles of international law. One of the key things that is, I think, particularly attractive about it is that it draws from a wide range of persons of different nationalities and expertise, and so therefore joining and being part of the ILA exposes members to that opportunity to liaise with colleagues from across the globe, particularly those who have considerable expertise in this area. The life of a committee is normally approximately 4 years, which is also renewable. And when it completes its mandate, each committee is expected to pass on its report to the biennial conference for adoption, which may then be passed on to other interested parties in the form of rules or guidelines. Of significance, particularly for today, is the fact that the Caribbean branch has actually had its members serve on some 8 committees which cover a wide variety of areas, including international criminal law, human rights, international commercial arbitration, international securities regulation, rule of law, international investment law, just to name a few of them. I mentioned also that the work of the ILA is conducted via study groups, and the distinction between a study group and a committee is that the study group is meant to be a slightly less formal means of articulating and investigating certain issues. And its work can lead to the establishment of a new ILA committee, but it can also undertake, perhaps more flexibly, the review of urgent questions of international law as well. And the committee comprises perhaps fewer people, 10 to 12 people selected by the chair, but it also publishes its work, its reports and recommendations under the auspices of the ILA. And unlike the committee, which normally has a shelf life of about 5 years, the study group tends to be about 3 years. Again, of the 8 study groups, it covers a wide variety of different areas. For example, domestic implementation of international law, which is in a sense what was touched on today as well. It also talks about individual responsibility for international law. And interestingly enough, one of the current study groups focuses on international tax law. And in fact, a decision was recently taken at the executive level that this would now be elevated into a full-fledged committee of the ILA. It publishes its findings through conference reports as well as committee reports. And of course, what I think is also significant, especially for those from a non-legal background, is that membership is open to anyone interested in international law, particularly with regard to the Caribbean branch, which, as I mentioned, was founded in 2014. Membership is open to nationals or residents of Caribbean states and territories, as well as corporations and associations based in the Caribbean, and also full-time students, so who are nationals of or pursuing their studies in Caribbean states and territories. So we hope that some of those listening today who are students may be interested in furthering their involvement with the ILA. And of course, it's through the branch that persons are nominated to sit on the respective committees and study groups. So the benefits briefly then are that you can be very much assured of being with an association that has been around since the 19th century, that has been very much a high profile organization in the field of international law, and that of course, more practically, that one can enjoy certain discounted rates, as well as the ability to attend these biennial conferences, as well as of course, networking and meeting with persons from across the global divide, particularly from the judiciary, professors at leading universities, practitioners, as well as other academics and practitioners. So joining the branch is relatively straightforward. You have to submit an application form, which is available on the ILA website, or indeed we can make it available to you. And these should be sent to the secretary with an up-to-date resume and 2 letters of support on an official letterhead from either an existing member of the ILA or other individuals in legal practice or academia who know you well. So I hope that gives you a fairly quick synopsis of the work of the ILA and the Caribbean branch, and I look forward to hopefully receiving some further applications